Good morning, good morning. Good day to good people. How you guys doing out there today? Been out of town for a couple days. Went out of town to go check out an event with another YouTuber by the name of Erica Williams. She had a boat party thing. We went out there, checked that out. It was pretty cool, pretty fruitful. Got to meet a lot of good people. Got to see how a lot of other people are doing in this world. Just inspires you to do better and greater things. So, that's probably what we're going to wind up doing, more, better, and greater things. But while I was on the airplane and running through all these airports and stuff like that, we get on these planes and then you take off. You have all that the turbulence and stuff going on. It's an interesting process. Then you start looking down at the ground, and it's like everything that you can see from up there is completely different than how you see it from when you're down here. When you're hundreds of feet in the air, it's like you have such a clearer vision of how the city's laid out, all the projects that's going on, the distance between this place and that place. And it made me realize that from whatever your perspective is, you may not always be able to see the clear picture. From up there, I could see everything that was going on, man. I could see all the neighborhoods that we had in our city. I could see new construction developments. I could see all this land over here that ain't even being used or touched yet. And I'm like, man, this is it kind of opens up your mind. It opens up your mind to possibilities that you didn't always think were there. And maybe you knew they were there, but it just gives you a different outlook on it. And that's such an interesting thing, how just a change in view can change your complete perspective of a certain situation or a certain area. So we're up there, we're flying in the sky, and got me thinking about all these trees that we can cut down and this, that, and the third. But it's just so interesting to me. You just see it completely different. Like, all the cars are so small, and then you look at the houses. These look like $300,000-$400,000 houses. So you know how big those are when you're on the street. But then you're like way up in the air, and they look like little model homes, like the toy. And then you imagine, hey, if you were standing at the front door of that house, I mean, you'd be smaller than the door. You'd be able to go in the door, and you're all the way up here in the air. And I don't know. It just makes it so that you see it a little bit differently. And I guess that's why they like when you play sports, that's why they always have coaches in the booths up there, because they can see the field a little bit better than you can. Yeah, one of my homies, we went to a football game years ago, and a Carolina Panthers game. I think they were playing the Atlanta Falcons that day. But we went to a football game, and he was saying, man, we were sitting all the way up in the nosebleeds, but he was like, man, I always like sitting up here, because he can see the whole field, and he can see the whole plays come together or unravel, and see who's moving where, who's not moving where. And I never was really, even when I was into football like that, I was never really that astute at how the game works. But you can kind of see the correlation between that and life. So now you understand why there's a coach up there, for you to for them to be able to critique your play from a different perspective. And I guess if you want to look at it in a religious perspective as well, we only see things from down here on ground zero where we're at. But if you think about God, or when people call it the Most High or the universe or whatever you want to say, he has a different perspective as well from what your perspective is. Sometimes we're bogged down with bills, and the kids is doing this, the wife is doing that. I got a job here, I got a job there. But then you go up in the sky, and like all that seems to matter a whole lot less. You know what I'm saying? Like, your job is this big from up there. Your kids are this big. Everybody's ants from up there. So you can't always necessarily, even see what God's plan is, because we're down here where everything matters so much to us. But when we get up there, you can see that God got a bigger picture for everything. You can't see the whole perspective. You can't see everything all at one time. And if you look at that, what if you went even further of all the things that God is in control of, and that God has to make plans for? Let's kind of zoom that out a little bit more. You looking at the entire world. You know, it's millions of people, billions of people, millions of homes, all this land, acreages, and millions and billions of acreages of land. That's all out here. And you know, from the religious perspective, you know, God is in control of all of those things. So just imagine what he can do in your little world from your little perspective if you kind of follow that plan, or if you follow the God's plan or the coach's plan, or the bird's eye view from up there in the sky. I think it's an interesting thing, you know, to change our perspective every once in a while. Think about things just a little bit differently. And you know, also while I was up there, I was able to see that, you know, everybody should be, you know, comment, liking, subscribing to my video, and subscribe to my channel. This is one of the best places you can be. And you know, it's almost nothing better you could see up there. Man, it's an interesting thing. I'll put a little clip of the if I hadn't already, I'll put a little clip of my little takeoff footage from when we were on the plane. It's just an interesting thing to see while you're all the way up there. You know, this is coming from a guy. I think that's probably my third flight I've ever taken. So it's like, you know, never. I ain't been up there that many times. So that's my perspective from it. But anyway, most important thing while you're flying that high, go be great.